Hey everyone, it's Jeannie, and today I'm using Gerda Steiner's new stamp set called Meerkats on the Lookout. I think that this stamp set is completely adorable. It has a ton of little meerkats, some rocks, and I decided to create a scene card using all of them. Usually with her stamp sets, I tend to like to use all the images for one card and then I'll create additional cards along the way. For today's card, I decided that everyone was going to be used. I'm going to use a little bit of masking to color up the background as well. I definitely did not want to use my alcohol markers just to color up the background. And I'm also not that great with blending in large areas, so distress inks are my go-to. So I have been creating a lot of scene cards lately, and I think that I've just really fallen in love with creating a scene out of images and making them come to life. I've also tried to do a few interactive cards, so I have another one next week, I believe, that will be going up, and I hope you guys have been enjoying the cards. I've been doing a little bit more cards for fun and for me, so I haven't been posting as much, but I really miss doing videos. So I'm hoping to do more. Currently, my goal is to do two a month, which isn't a lot, but I do work full time. So it's hard to sneak in filming, editing, and doing the voiceovers and all the time that it actually takes. So I hope you bear with me and you enjoy the cards and videos that I do get a chance to put out there. So with all the stamping, I stamped all the images with Momentum Tuxedo Black ink. I always have a ton of inks that I choose from, so it's whatever I feel at the moment. And I am stamping on Bristol Smooth cardstock because I knew I would do some ink blending. For Bristol Smooth, it just makes it very easy to do ink blending, so I always go to that when I plan on doing any type of ink blending. So once I have all the images masked off, I'm kind of deciding where I want the ground to end and where the sky to start. So I pull out my distressings, and I actually didn't know how to color meerkats at all. I wasn't really familiar with their fur color and if there was variety and if there wasn't. And I went with kind of a deserty look for the ground. So I added some patches of green and a majority of it will be brown. And it looks like they hang out in the desert. And because of that, I wanted to do a fun, bright, fiery background. And I did that with a couple, I think I used wild honey, abandoned coral, and fired brick. And that really achieved the look I wanted. Except I was thinking about this, and with the meerkats, they're kind of like a warm gray with some browns. And I thought that it would just be a little bit bland with the coloring. So I really wanted that red to pop out, and I think it does. It makes everything really, really pop with that burst of color on top. I think I could have gone with other colors, but I just didn't think that it worked with this scene since we're in the desert. I didn't want like a purple sky for fun. I tend to stay on the realistic side of scene creating, and then when I feel like it, I'll do some like random colors. But I really need to step out of my comfort zone for things like that. I just can't color like an elephant purple or pink. It just doesn't make sense to me, and for some reason, my coloring has to make sense. And I think that that's where I really admire the artists that can do that. So for the coloring, I wanted to add a little bit of texture on the ground. So I'm just adding blades of grass. And here you'll kind of see that I picked colors that were way too dark and I had to blend them out somehow. I do have a color chart. I have a tendency not to use it and just go in blind thinking that I can pick the right colors, and sometimes I can, and sometimes I can't. So that's why the grass looks the way it is. But it does help with the look that I was going for. I wanted it to look like patches of grass underneath the rocks and then bare terrain everywhere else where they're hanging out. So, with all these meerkats, I'm doing shades of warm grays and browns, and I think that that reflects them well. When I was Googling, I saw a few pictures where they had dark fur around their eyes, and it kind of looked like raccoony, but they were really cute. And well, I think raccoons are cute too, but I didn't really realize that that's how they looked. And so I tried to do a variety of coloring for all these meerkats because there's six of them on this card. I also wanted to go in with a little bit of texture, and how I achieve this is basically not to blend fully and just do the little streaks of lines when I'm coloring. And I think it looks okay. I think it looks different from my normal coloring where I would just, blend everything out and make it smooth. But I think that this works too. I think that it gives a little bit of texture for it and it just makes them look furry and cute. I don't know. What do you guys think? Once you see the final product, you can let me know. I do have a tendency to want to blend everything and make it perfect. And I don't really like that texture look because I don't think I do a good job with it. When I see other people do it, it looks great. And I'm like, man, I wish I could do that. And I try out that techniques and it just doesn't work for me. Or in my mind, it just doesn't look very good. And so I'm trying to step outside my comfort zone with things like that. So I think that generally this card is a cute one. It does have this whole scene and the sentiments that are on the stamp set work so well. The one I'm using today is "Thank you for showing up" because there's a few of them that are popping out of their holes, which is adorable. I'm also using my Misty Creative Corners to help me line up these sentiments, and I find them really useful with the long sentiments that I just can't get to stand up straight. Anyway, that's it for today's card. It was a quick one, so I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.